I would love to have more exciting writing offered to one,
Yeah.
where the role is not just of or mother or this thing or that, but something even in that, but just something that's got more. I'll sometimes be told to make reels, and sometimes it's fun when I look at some people's eyes. Oh, that's fun, but will I be? I'm not never made a reel yet. Sometimes I get confused. What does it even mean to make a reel? If you ask me, what's worked for me is that I just kept at it. Sometimes one's done crap work, less than crap work, great work, very nice work, rubbish work, very average work. Then I've done all of it.
Yeah.
So one's just been at it, and for me, that's what. There's a lot of my work I have not seen. It's like that time you're enthused, and then for some reason, by the time it comes out, sort of, I don't know what it is.
Shivaji, it is so wonderful to be talking to you. We are, of course, here to discuss your new Z5 series, Baketti. But first, I wanted to say that if we were doing this interview in print, for me, the headline would be Sheeba Chaddha is everywhere. And I mean that in the best possible way. I was just looking at your IMDb, and if you include all of the projects you currently have in production, you're about to hit 100 projects since you started.
Oh,
Uh,
you know what? I have no clue about how IMDb works. So I don't know what a good ballpark figure is.
Okay. I think 100 is very exciting.
Is it?
Yes, I'm saying it is. That's my
Okay,
declaration.
wow.
So congratulations. And even if you just look at the last 2 years, you've had over 20 projects released across medium, streaming, theatrical, genre, international projects now as well. So firstly, I wanted to ask where you are today. It feels like over the last few years, you're finally getting the kinds of roles and recognition your talent deserves. So what excites you today? What are the kinds of roles that excite you in terms of what you want to do? Is it just a variety of roles? Is it sort of lead roles? What excites you in where you are today?
Um, to I mm, I would it would be even more exciting to have more exciting writing offered
Yeah.
to one. A lot of work which I feel it's by the grace of God, it's still, I mean, I'm phenomenally happy to be on the kind of sets that I get to go to work with the kind of people I get to work with. I'm really, honestly, it's just such a blessing, and I'm saying that
Yeah.
not just as as a thing, but it's really a blessing. So just I would love to have more exciting writing offered to one,
Yeah.
where the role is not just of or mother or this thing or that, but something even in that, but just something that's got more.
Yeah. I do want to ask you about your response to when the writing is not that exciting. But first I want to ask, I imagine you're in the position now or in the recent memory where you're finally comfortable saying no to projects because you can, which is exactly what any actor would want. But was it tough getting to that point where you were comfortable to start saying no to things?
I think that's always a sort of a rite of passage for all actors.
Yeah.
Like I keep saying, we don't generate work.
Yeah.
We have to just accept work, and then, yeah, it's a real privilege to say that I could say no to something. But I think it's a rite of passage for all actors,
Yeah.
and it's great again, and sheer grace that you ever get to be in that position, and that's not a consistent position. It's
Yeah.
not like, oh, today is tomorrow may not be so,
Yeah.
and you'll have to just suck it and pick up a lot of projects which you don't really enjoy so much, but you'll do it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
But was it ever strange that when you were the first time you ever considered saying, I think I can say no to this? Was that a strange moment?
No, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice because choice is, I think, what everybody would
Yeah.
love, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Because it gives you uh, uh, sort of agency over so many things,
Yeah.
just to be able to have agency of choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
But speaking of what you have chosen to say yes to, just coming to Bakaiti, I watched the trailer and the sense I got was from an acting perspective, it just looked very exciting because I got the sense that it's just a bunch of actors in a confined space playing off of each other, finding those moments, almost like a play. So is that fair to say? And what excited you about this project?
Many things, yeah. One, I go back a long way with the production house.
Yeah.
I really enjoy working with them. Very much so. And then, of course, I go back a long way with my co-actor, which is just, it's great to get to work with co-actors you're very comfortable with. I mean, it's almost like a repertory situation, and
Yeah.
that's familiar to us theatre actors. It's great to work with Rajesh. I hadn't worked with other people in the team, and they were really, again, wonderful to work with. But I think the milieu is very lovely. It's like you almost slide into it with ease,
Yeah.
because it's literally day-to-day life, and that's a lot of dice media work which I have done in the past as well. So it's very familiar, and
Comfortable.
it's comfortable, and the fact that it allows you to engage with the material, which is so, for lack of a better word, relatable.
Yeah.
Literally, it's just so relatable. It's so here now. It's so everyday. We all know it. We know the echoes of it, the sight, smell, syntax, which is completely, all of us know it.
Yeah.
So it's great to be in that zone where yeah, where the highest emotion also is contained in this everydayness of life. That's how we live life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned your co-star Rajesh Talang. I have to ask you, what goes into that dynamic duo, because we've seen you play across each other as husband and wife in Pandish Pandits, in Mirzapur, now this, and it's always such a joy to watch both of you. So, what is it that makes you so fun to watch together, and also what that gets people to be happy to cast both of you together, repeatedly, because it is such a joy to watch. But what is that like?
Wow, that's really lucking out, yeah, because I think we're just very easy with each other. That helps because it just helps you not having to sort of cross over or navigate an initial part of,
Yeah.
something with any co-actor too, but to really hit a note of ease, which is, ease is a big one. And there's a lot of ease, and there's trust in that, uh, yeah, we're both very happy to exist together in the scene, as opposed to any whatever one-up manship. I don't think any of us really buy that ideology any which way. So it's just an act of lot of ease. Yeah, that's a joy to work.
Well, it
with
definitely
these.
comes across. And what I love is that every time I've seen you, these are very different worlds and tonalities and characters, and it never feels the same, but it is still the two of you, which is always very exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the show is that as well. I do also want to ask you about your process and how you find characters. You said something in a previous interview. You said, I don't have a process. And I think that is my process as an actor. I'm a lazy actor. I don't prepare a lot. Often I don't even read the script
Good.
more than
We
once.
done homework. Yeah.
But the thing is, that's all I do to be present in the moment. I somehow suspect that's not true. But just give us a sense of that. When you are given a script, from that point to saying, okay, I want to do this, to the point of shoot, what does that look like? If I was a fly on the wall, what am I seeing you doing to find these people?
It's the actual real truth. What you've just read out is the absolute truth. But what is there over and above or underneath or inside of this, I don't know, and I have not taken uh, uh, the effort or the outsideness to analyze it, even or explore it for myself. This makes sense to me. But what else is there? Like, you may be right, but I myself don't know it.
So are you just reading the script? What does that look like?
So yeah, so when I get a script, I'll read the script, and then many factors will always decide. That's true for all actors as to why you will say yes or no.
Yeah.
There's everything. It's a script. It's your role in it. It's the team's sort of what kind of work they've done, dates, money, all of that sort of comes together to sort of say yes or no. And then I don't do homework, if that's your question. I don't.
Yeah.
But when I read it, it is true that something will just pop out for me, and that whatever pops out stays.
Interesting.
And I just get like a intangible or amorphous sense of who this person is and what the world is. And then you go on the set. I don't go to the set with any preconceived map or POA. It's really finding it right there and then, and sometimes it may be then you just tweak it, sort of pat it a little here and there, and mm, yeah, and then pray it's working.
Does that, firstly, it's working, I'll tell you that. But does that moment ever come on set? You're sort of in a scene and something clicks and you're like, I know who this person is now. or was it always when you're reading?
Uh, I've heard these kind of things said, but I don't think I recall where I say, oh, this is who she is. No, but I think it just starts. It can happen that that character can start becoming more and more familiar to you as you keep doing it, and sometimes you feel that, oh, okay, by the end of it is when you are so familiar that I wish you were this familiar in the beginning.
Yeah. I
um
wish we could restart this.
yeah, I'm too lazy to do that. But
Spiritually.
yeah, but yeah, there is sometimes a sense of that. But yeah,
And what happens when the material isn't there? You've talked in the past about there have been projects over the years where it really is just a line, or it's in one adjective, it's one hashtag, it's quirky mother, whatever it is, and it's left for you to find the dimension because it's not on paper. So how tricky is it to navigate those where you're trying to create something that isn't there? And by that logic, is it then advisable for actors to also be writers at times in their own mind, because they might have to create a character that doesn't exist or isn't well
so
defined?
are you saying where the writing is seriously lacking?
Yeah, when it's not a well-defined character, and then you have to do something.
Yeah, it's true. Then you are really that, and I'm sure all actors have done several of those projects, and then you just try to give it as much nuance or shade as which is not there, but you really try to. And I remember projects like that where you try to because either the writing is really not it doesn't evoke anything, then you will use your thing to, yeah, you're right, yeah, but how much you can do it in is it depends, because sometimes you're really bound by the entire parameter of it, but yeah, you do try to just literally breathe more into it.
Does the opposite ever happen? Because, with Hindi cinema, we have this tendency to overwrite exposition, talk down to an audience. So do you ever read a script thinking, I could do this entire thing with a look, I could convey this monologue with a word?
And that happens very often, and I always say it to the direction team that, can I remove that line? Can I just it's not required. And most times people are good.
They are receptive to it.
Yeah, most times, yeah, of course. Because why to say something with words if it can be sort of expressed in another way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did also want to get your perspective on navigating the industry as an actor. Something a lot of younger actors talk about these days is the pressure. I guess if you want to be a leading man or woman, there's a pressure of the PR, the packaging, the positioning, all the non-craft related stuff that you have to navigate, the social media of it all. So I'm curious, does any of that pressure ever come on you for an actor in your standing? Are there people telling you that you have to do these kinds of things, be in this certain space? Is that
Not
ever?
really. I get sort of enthused about it in fits and starts. My manager's here. It's like I sometimes it'll be like, oh, you people don't do anything, and then I'm like, I will never push them, because I could have, but I don't, because the older point, it's not interesting. But I recognize it's important. So I mean, again, it's like I come to it with fits and starts, where there is no consistent this thing. I'll sometimes be told to make reels, and sometimes it's fun when I look at some people's eyes. Oh, that's fun. But will I be? I've not never made a reel yet. Sometimes I get confused. What does it even mean to make a reel? Exactly. Ask my daughter who's 19, and then she'll explain something to me, and I'm not listening to him half the time. So I honestly still don't know f- what does it technically mean to say make a reel. I really don't
It
know.
means you're not an artist, you are content, is what it means.
So I have nothing wrong in that also, because with that also.
Yeah.
No, we are all catering to a lot of things now, and no issue or no judgment about that, but just to get to it.
Yeah. But what's the worst piece of advice you've ever been given in all of this sort of navigating the industry? The stuff that's nothing to do with the narrative, the craft, the character, just the positioning of an actor.
I don't think I've really been given advice. I don't remember anything like that, really. But I've pretty much done what has made sense to me always. That's true. So I've never really, yeah, I'm quite headstrong like that.
But I wanted to ask you the reverse of that as well. I imagine you're someone who gets asked for advice a lot from, aspiring actors. So I'm curious to know, and because the industry has changed so much over the years, when actors come up to you for advice on navigating the industry, what advice do you give them? And has your advice changed over the years?
Not really, because I think one thing is a standard thing that, again, we this is an industry or a place of work of extreme not knowing, which is true for pretty much every industry if you look at it. But in ours, it's like really, really not knowing. And that's true for everybody in our industry. I think our technicians or people, everybody. You will not know where the next gig is coming from, what your next 6 months or 2 months or is going to look like. You really will not know. So if you really have you need to sort of have your whatever your internal mechanism is, which will keep you afloat, keep you enthused, keep you just all right in the face of that. This is the nature of this beast. You choose to be a part of this world, then this comes with this.
So making friends with uncertainty, is that fair?
Yeah, but that's true for life.
Yeah.
We all, we don't know when we'll die. That's making friends with uncertainty.
Yeah.
But in our line of work, it's literally, it's like we do not have a 9 to 5 job, right? Which also people can get laid off. But till that time, you are going every day.
The lack of structure.
तो हमारे में तो है ही नहीं. No routine, no structure, no knowing what literally your time going ahead is going to look like, what you'll be working on or not working on. So you have to be okay with that. And then that's a big thing to say. So whatever resources you need to sort of cull and sort of make fertile, you should. Because that's what's really going to hold you, whether it's family or your artistic life, your friends, your whatever it is. But it needs to become strong and solid for you. Otherwise, it's quite easy to fall apart in the face of so much not knowing. And then to just keep at it is what I say. That's what's worked for me. It may not work for someone else. But for me, if you ask me, what's worked for me is that I just kept at it. Sometimes one's done crap work, less than crap work, great work, very, very nice work, rubbish work, very average work. One has done all of it. So one's just been at it. And for me, that's what.
That's what leads to 100 credits on IMDb. So, just lastly, I wanted to play a quick game. I want to rattle off some directors you've worked with and just tell me what you've taken from the experience of working with them. Just anything that comes to mind. Zoya Akhtar is the first one.
She can really read a room.
In what way?
In every way. She's a great one to work with. She's got an overview, underview, everything, and she really knows how to work with people, juice them, milk them. And I think like Gully Boy, I think is the last thing I did with us, and I didn't even know what that. It's literally turns out is one of my most favorite films ever to watch. I rarely ever go back and read many of my own work. I have not seen, and that's a fact.
But you can watch yourself as an audience.
Yeah, I can, but it's just sometimes I will just not make the effort to watch. I do that. There's a lot of my work I have not seen. It's like that time you're enthused, and then for some reason, by the time it comes out, sort of, I don't know what it is. It didn't happen, and then one just never went and saw it. Or it's at some platform, whatever, But Gully Boy is one film I think I've seen 4 times because I loved the film. I have great regard for her. Yeah, she's amazing.
I very much agree with you. That next one is Anand Tiwari.
So he's like I love him. I just love him. He's too lovely a guy. So that's one thing. He's just too lovely a guy. He knows how to figure. It's not like he's just like, oh, I'm just Mr. Nice Guy, but he's a Mr. Nice Guy who knows how to be nice and still get what he wants, which is a very, very amazing quality, I feel. Because I want what I want, but I can be very not nice guy about it. But he's always nice, and that's lovely. And for me, he's like he's like somebody. It's not just that I have to be working with him because he can't be casting me in everything that he does. But he like whatever he's working on, I would love to go on the set and just
be in that.
Yeah, I just would want him in my life.
Just jumping to the other side of the world for a second, Riz Ahmed, who you've been in 2 projects with so far. I don't think he's directed you, but he's created the show, right?
He has created this. There's a series for Amazon that he's a showrunner and part writer and sort of created it. And then I've done Hamlet with him, which was his baby dream project for like 100 years. And yeah, he's also producing that one.
Yeah.
Producing that one.
What was that like working with him? What did you get from it?
He's again another planet only. There's a planet race, I think Gabby lives on it. He's fantastic. So like driven in the most beautiful way. Like I don't consider myself a driven actor. He's a very driven actor, performer, and he's a great team player. It's just he's just wonderful to work with. Just lovely and so bloody passionate, and um, everything is in the right place. Like he's just wonderful. Because also the two things are so poles apart in content in a way similar but very different. And to see how fantastically he is in both, and just because I've not seen too much of his work really, and yeah, he's lovely.
Varun Grover.
Oh, again, huge when you have just immense deep regard and respect for someone, and just enjoy their craft so much, and then you get called to be a part of their first ever debut as a director. Again, I honestly, it's really grace because it's like this place is filled with wonderfully talented, lovely actors, yeah. And I'm not just saying that, I mean it that it's just grace that you get called to do
Yeah.
the things that you get called to do, because many other people can do it, but it's just so I again I love him.
Just lastly, Nitesh Tiwari.
Yeah, but it's very brief working with him.
Fair.
Very brief.
But on what sounds like a very unique project, Ramayan.
I don't know that because you're working so much in the green screen, you really don't get much sense of it. You know what I mean? It's quite something. There's a lot of green screen
Yeah.
happening in because of course it's very VFX heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
No? So it's a different feeling. It's you're always aware of that VFX-ness of it for me.
Which must be harder as an actor.
Yeah, for me it's
Do you?
harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little harder. But I think it's just such a mammoth project, and again, it's like you're like, oh, great to be with all these completely look at this entire galaxy of
Yeah.
people. Yeah, it's just great to be a part of that. Yeah,
I will just leave you with a quote that my colleague Rahul Desai wrote.
I love him.
I'm also a fan.
Such a fan of his. Oh my god.
He wrote something, and I wanted to quote something from a piece he wrote about you in 2022. He said, it is undoubtedly the best time to be an actor in Hindi cinema today. There is no dearth of opportunity, but it is an even better time to be a seasoned actor. Stories have finally started to deserve them. And I think that perfectly applies to you.
Right.
So thank you so much for the work. Thank you for the artistry. Thank you for the roles, and look forward to everything else in the next 100 on IMDb.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.